Hello everyone, JL Wasabi here. In today's video, I will be teaching you about how the item drops work in TFT. But before we start, I would just like to remind you to like the video if you find it useful, and also to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Let us begin. First, I will explain how the mechanics work for the item drops. As you all should know, there are 8 items in the game. From left to right, belt, vest, cloak, tear, sword, bow, rod, and glove. 2 item components can be combined together to form a total of 36 craftable items in TFT. At the start of stage 1, there are all PVE rounds. 1 each of the 8 item component types are added to your item drop bag that is only for you and not shared with other players, unlike your champion bag that is shared across players. Following that, 1 more of each component types are added to your item drop bag during the carousel rounds before the PvE rounds of that stage. This means that even if a hack occurs and the PvE round is repeated, your item drop bag components remain the same for that stage. This also means that there is a hard cap of 4 of the same item components that can be dropped from PvE in total, since there are only 4 of each item components in the item drop bag by stage 4-7 PvE round. Next, reforgers will be given whenever 2 of the same item component drops in the same PvE round, in order to reduce variance and the chances of you being screwed over by probability. The item components you choose from the carousel rounds are independent and does not affect your item drop bag. Lastly, stage 4-7 PvE round is the last stage where you can obtain item components from PvE, after which you can only obtain them from the carousel by chance, since the late stage PvE rounds will be dropping you completed item anvils instead. I will further break down this by the stage PvE rounds for your understanding. At stage 1, 3 item components usually drop on average across the rounds. As mentioned, as there are 1 of each of the 8 item component types in your item drop bag at stage 1, there is a 1 of 8 or 12.5% chance of the components to drop. And they will all be different components since there are only 1 of each. For illustration purposes, let's assume that you obtain a bow, rod, and a glove. This means that your item drop bag will have a belt, vest, cloak, tear, and sword left inside of it. By the time you reach the PvE round at stage 2-7, 1 more of each of the 8 item components have already been added to your item drop bag at the stage 2-4 carousel round. This means that your item drop bag will have 13 components, out of which there is only 1 bow, 1 rod, and 1 glove, since these were dropped in stage 1. Thus, there is a 1 of 13 or 7.7% chance of obtaining these item components again, while there is double the chance of obtaining item components such as a tear that was not dropped in stage 1. Let's assume again that a vest and a bow was dropped in stage 2-7. Once again, when you reach the PvE round at stage 3-7, 1 more of each of the 8 item components have already been added to your item drop bag at the stage 3-4 carousel round. This means that your item drop bag will now have 19 components, out of which there is only 1 bow, 2 rods, 2 gloves, and 2 vests, since these were dropped in stages 1 and 2. The remaining items components have 3 copies currently in the item drop bag. Thus, there is only a 1 of 19 or 5.3% chance of obtaining another item component that had dropped twice, which is the bow in this case, while item components that hasn't dropped yet, such as the belt, is much more likely to be dropped in this PvE round or the subsequent one at stage 4-7. Based on what I have just explained, the most important lesson to take away is that you should not expect or rely on specific item components to drop. I have had games where I needed a Greensu Rage Blade badly as the core item for my comp, but failed to obtain throughout the whole game, whether from PvE round or the carousel. Though this is also unlikely to happen, banking your entire game on a specific item component to drop from PvE can mess up your game for certain comps. You should also know when you need to lose streak for carousel priority in order to make your most important items for the comp you are angling towards. This is especially crucial for craftable items that require two of the same item components, such as blue buff for many low mana AP carry comps like Annie, Warmogs for Gorilla Mundo, or even Thief's Gloves and Bramble Vest when you get their item-specific augments. This is due to the reduced probability of duplicate item components dropping from PvE rounds and when Lady Luck just isn't with you that game. With this knowledge, you also should know to always deny important duplicate item components during the carousel round. For instance, when someone has the Lucky Gloves augment, you know that they can only get up to 4 more gloves from PvE. You should always take it from them if you can do so. Or if you know the meta is rampant with blue buff users like right now, always take the tier away if you are first or second pick during the carousel round. Trust me, this will save you placements for sure if you are playing ranked games. But of course, this is after you have already completed the core items for your comp. This brings me to my next point that based on this understanding, you should also know when to try and win streak or that carousel priority is not crucial for you, such as when your initial item drops already give you playable flexible items such as a Shojin or Greensu Rage Blade, or when your core item does not involve a craftable item made from duplicate item components like blue buff. You can then capitalize on trying to win streak if many people are angling to lose streak for carousel priority. Lastly, again, you should not expect or rely too much on specific item components to drop. Hence, only try to hard force comps based on early item drops. Try to see if your item drops fit more towards an AD or AP line, or if you're already able to form core items like Greensu Rage Blade. It may not be so clear-cut every time, such as when you get dropped mostly tank item components. This would mean that you should either try to lose streak for specific item components in order to hard force certain comps, or you should keep your options flexible and wait for better item direction before committing. Once again, if you have reached the end of the video and you have learned something from here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more guides and gameplay videos. Until next time, bye bye.